tonight is my last night in Barcelona for this year. Well, for this time, for the moment. And so now we're going to talk about how to live like a minimalist. Alright, so this is in theme with everything else that I'm about scaling back, the first core method, alright, which is, and it's all about the ascetic life. Everything on my channel is about the ascetic life, but still the human life, the humanism. So it's ascetic humanism, alright? I'm developing ascetic humanism, alright? So, ascetic humanism, this is what it is. Right, so how to live like it. You live like it by you scale back everything in life. Alright? You scale back, you live minimally in everything, in every aspect of life. Okay? So, you have certain clothes, similar to like Steve Jobs' idea. He used the same polo shirt, black polo shirt with jeans, so he didn't have any anxiety in choosing clothes every day. He didn't waste time on clothes. He didn't waste time at all. So we don't waste time either. That's what the greats do. They just focus on their work. Alright? That's what the greats do. Just super focus, laser focus on one thing. Right? So everything is one. When it comes to minimalism, almost everything is one. Okay? Almost everything is one. So you have one set of sheets, one set of books. Obviously you need more books than one, but you have a couple of greats you read. You don't read everything. You read the greats from every area of life, and in life you read the greats, and only the greats. Alright? You don't need the mediocre. For us to be the great, you need to surround yourself with great people and great mentors, great people you admire, and so forth. Alright? You admire them, but you admire them, but you're not them. Alright? So don't confuse yourself with people whom you love. Don't confuse yourself with people whom you love. Alright? So you have like one set of clothes, and you have clothes you love and you like. Obviously you love them. You know, you don't wear mediocre garbage, right? You wear the part, and whatever you want to do, you wear the part. All right? You want to represent something, you represent that part. And well, then you might ask, well, isn't that identity and so forth? Well, to a certain extent there is such a thing as identity, but you still don't have to identify with it, even if there is an identity expected of you. You still can detach, like a Buddha, you know? Buddha is just an enlightened person. But you don't have to be a Buddhist to be a Buddha, right? That's the biggest misunderstanding when it comes to Buddha. Definitely, like super. It's one of the biggest, if not the biggest. Like monks, they wear these orange Buddhist uniforms, but wearing these uniforms makes no sense in Buddhism or anything. It's like in Christendom as well. You know? Alright. So there's a lot of hypocritical ideas behind a lot of these, you know, ideologies and so forth. We use our own thoughts and ideologies, right? In reality, we don't expect other things. We build our own individual reality. Excuse the noise here. All right, sorry. All right. So you live one, and life is one. You have one work, your main work, one work. You don't diverge ever, except when you're one day chaos day, so to speak. Your one day free day, right? Everything else is purpose work. Everything else is meaning of life work. All right. Everything else is what you're about, your destiny. Whatever you were born to do, those are most of the days, right? Those are most of the days for you and for me, for everyone, for every great person, all right? For every ambitious person, every great person, right? Yep. All right. Smoking. People are smoking. That's just low. You need to get higher desires. All right. That's also a focus in this minimal life. You know, when you walk into a house, there should just be a couple of things, like perhaps one candle, one lamp, one set of everything. Aim for one set of everything, and then throw out everything else. Actually, in some cases, you can throw it out altogether. Like a TV, you don't need a TV, all right? You don't need a TV at all. There is nothing you can learn from TVs. Get rid of it. Or use it as a screen for your computer, for your work, all right? All right, so. All right. So you gotta have these, that's how you live minimally, you know? How to live minimally. You simply cut out everything you don't need, you know? It's so simple. I mean, it couldn't be more simpler. Like, the word simple is ingrained in minimalism. You can watch movies from Robert Bresson to get some inspiration when it comes to super minimalism, all right? That's what you can do. And if you're a filmmaker, ambitious filmmaker, you need to watch his movies anyways. All right, so I'm not gonna talk about movies now, but just a association of mine that is strong when it comes to minimalism. All right? All right. How to live minimally. Okay, so you cut out everything. Obviously, all the apps, all your apps. You only use your phone for work. You only, you obviously focus on yourself. That's a given. And yourself, like that's one person. You focus on one person, especially in the beginning, you know. And then you just focus on your work. So within the work, obviously, you give value to everyone else, all the people in perhaps the world, or you know, whatever your aim is. Obviously, when you're ambitious, perhaps it's the world, or it's a a certain group of people. All right, so living minimally. How to live minimally? It's such an easy thing. Once you start to tap out of matrix, you just do it every day. You use the addicting tools to your advantage instead. All right. That's for the dopamine addicted people. All right. Obviously, I have to go back to that because that's a huge issue. Even so-called disciplined people find it difficult. All right. Even they find it difficult. Okay. So, hope it's not gonna be too much noise here. Okay. What's that? It's not gonna be too much noise. Right? Barcelona. Alright. Gotta love those lens flares, right? Perhaps my lens here is alright, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Perfectionism is overrated. Even though minimalism, perhaps you'll think that minimalism it has to be perfect. No, it doesn't. It doesn't have to be perfect, especially not in the beginning. You just remove some stuff that you're the worst stuff. Just remove the worst stuff in the beginning. Like whatever makes you, whatever, and you know this by instinct. I'm 100% sure about it. But even if you don't, it will be like poisonous social media, like taking your time, you know, wasting your time away. Like Twitter, for example, and Facebook. It will be Instagram, Snapchat, and so forth. At least YouTube is a learning platform. So at least you can have some YouTube, you know, you can still have some YouTube channels and so forth in the beginning. Then later you will have to cut out all your YouTube stuff as well. Okay. So, how to live minimally. You cut out your phone stuff, and if you're wondering, like, do I have to cut off our phone, or well, everyone has their own phone nowadays. I'm not that old. All right, so no, you can still keep your phone, but you have to start to have a different mindset with your phone. Like, it's work, okay? So when you research, when you use your phone, you gotta do work, okay? Research or whatever it is, or programming, or whatever you're doing on your, and you can download extensions and programs and stuff like that blocks everything, you know? But if that doesn't work, I mean, obviously back in your head you'll be able to just head back there and turn it off, you know. I understand that, but you can try it anyway if it works for you. For some people it might work. Use add-ons and so forth, programs to block recommendations, block like buttons, block all of that. That is important. I'm speaking about this because I think this is the main issue for everyone. But also, you know, your environment at home. All right, so remove the TV, remove books you don't need, books you don't read, books you don't want to read. Remove those. Remove movies that you don't want. Remove. I mean, you can keep, you know, the greats, masterpieces. You keep those. Those that are good for the soul, so to speak, good for the spirit, for your mind, for your consciousness, and so on. All right. Keep those, right? But all right, let's head here. Let's head back. Okay. So how to live minimally? You know, so mainly people think of their environment, to cut out their environment, right? So, of course, environmental stuff. When it comes to minimalism, people think of their environment, right? You gotta change your environment and so forth, and it is important, super important. And do whatever you can. So, remove things on the walls you don't want. If there is something nagging you, you always hated that thing, or you know, remove it. If it's old, remove it. And it also, by the way, feels very good to just switch your stuff, like change your bed where it is, and with your desk and so forth, or whatever you have, or your table, whatever. And just doing that will change a lot. Will feel refreshing. Will feel like you're moving to a new place. and so forth. Okay, so, but that's one thing, all right? So there are other things, like put stuff that will instead, if you're going to add something, remove as much as you can, and then if you want to add a few things, add things that will guide you, that will move you forward, so forth. But that doesn't distract you, like a poster. But if it's a poster, you know, like, it has to be something that pushes you. Okay, and I wouldn't recommend these silly quotes, because they're usually pretty cliche and it might work, but it's, you know, you gotta motivate yourself in the end. All right, gotta motivate yourself. Find your inner motivation. That's the main thing that we're looking for. Awakening in the inner life, ascetic, humanistic life, right? And breaking those old patterns, creating new patterns, reinventing ourselves, and so forth. Doing our work, our purpose work, the reason why we're here, our destiny, right? And destiny, you change your destiny, you create your destiny, and so forth. Right? That's the general principle. That's a general principle. Okay. So, all right. So, if you have any problems with this, you can reach me on email. The email is down below. And I will have a course out soon as well, for core method. And it'll be my own philosophy boiled down into the practical aspects of the philosophy. All right. It's going to be exciting to release it. It will be quite useful for a lot of people, and it's a method. The core method, as I call it, is something I've used myself and that has worked. And I only use stuff that works. Only tools, mindsets, and so forth that works. I only use tools that work. We discard everything else. Everything else is junk. It is just words or, you know, nonsense. And obviously some things will work better for some people, and some things will work less for others. That's why there are general principles I speak of, but otherwise we will build, you know, something individual. Obviously we work with individuals here, and everyone is unique, and, you know, every person has its genius. That's what I believe. All right, some people are simply just geniuses, you know, and some people are just ambitious and want to achieve greatness, you know. A lot of people want to do that, and so forth. So that's what we guide here. All right, if you have these problems, you can email for consultation and we'll set something up. And all right, see you from Barcelona, my last night here. See you tomorrow. I will post tomorrow as well. All right, we'll see what it will bring up tomorrow. Good night.